Alright, all you trash kickers, this is TBrown0065. Welcome back to another discussion episode here. This discussion is about liberals and conservatives. Liberals are people who want change to occur. Conservatives are not like that. They'd rather keep stuff the same. Now, what's the problem I have with each class? Like, let's say if you're an extreme liberal, what's the problem with an extreme liberal? They would want every change to occur. And the disadvantage of an extreme liberal is that some of the changes that they accept can be detrimental to human society. Conservatives, if you are an extreme conservative, the disadvantage is that if you reject all changes, some changes that you reject can actually be good for society. So the question is, what's the best place to be when it comes to a political spectrum? Answer is, you want to be in the middle, because the middle is where rationality kicks in. It's where, like, yeah, you're open to some changes, but not open to other changes, okay? And when you have rationality in place, what you get to do is you get to evaluate the change for like potential impacts. So if a change has positive influence on society, then yeah, you would want those changes to occur. If the change has negative influence on society, then it's like, no, you don't want that change to occur. With the rationality, it's like you look at stuff from a glass half full perspective, okay? You look at it like on a case-by-case basis, okay? But the problem I have with people in this day and age is that they're not in the middle. It's like they're either on the far left, okay, which is this side here, or, I don't know if you can actually see it, but they're like this side here, far left, or they're far right. Okay, it's like they're not in the middle. It's like they're on an extreme side of a political spectrum. And what happens is when you're an extreme liberal or conservative, well, guess what? You don't have rationality, and therefore you don't make good judgments. The problem I have with liberals in this day and age is that they support changes for the worse. They don't support changes for the better. They want to see people get canceled over something minor. For example, an online celebrity uses a racial or homophobic slur. The problem is that with the liberals, they're like, oh, I want to see this guy get canceled. Okay, fine. You want to call him out, then so be it. But having him canceled is a bad idea, okay? Because it's not that big of a deal that he said that word. Yeah, the word is not appropriate. I'm not saying you should say it in a work setting, because sure that that's something you can get fired for. But say if you're an online celebrity and you say something that's derogatory, you know, how about you not make a big deal that he said it, okay? It's that simple. It's not that big of a deal that he said that word, okay? If on the other hand, it depends on the context, okay? It does depend on the context. So it's not a word alone that's a problem, it's context. So if a person were to attack somebody with a slur or attack a group of people and say a bunch of abhorrent stuff about them, then okay, fine, you can grab your pitchforks, okay? That stuff I don't advocate for. But if a person is using a slur and, like, let's say for the purpose of entertaining people, okay, then in that case, you should not make a big deal about it, okay? I mean, slurs are used in songs, okay? You hear rappers, use that slur that portrays black people, and I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. And people seem to enjoy that music, okay? They enjoy that music. However, they're against an online figure using that same word. Okay, my advice is you can't have double standards, okay? It's either you're okay with the person saying that word or you're not okay with it, okay? And you have to apply the standards to everyone equally, okay? It does not matter who said that word. It's either you're okay with someone saying it or you're not okay with it, okay? If you're okay with music, featuring the slurs, and you're okay with someone saying a slur. If you're not okay with an online figure saying that word, then you're not okay with music featuring that word, like in the lyrics, okay? you can't have double standards. Okay, so that's something I want to advise you about. Okay, so yeah, another thing I want to bring up too is in the school system, for example. Okay, the problem I have with the school system, okay, is the way they teach people. Okay, the problem is they teach people to be liberals. They don't want people to be conservatives. They want people to be okay with this social corporatism that we're living in. Okay, that's a problem I have with the school system. Okay, people are okay with social corporatism where everything's got to be politically correct. Okay, like if, say, for example, okay, you're on a college campus, and let's say you just want to talk with girls and make friends with them, and just because they failed to reciprocate, they'd report you to security guards for stalking them and try to get you punished in some way. Okay, that's a stuff that I'm against, and the reason for that is because these people, the ones who just want to have a conversation with you, they're not here to stalk you. No, they're not. They just want to get to know you and make friends with you. Now, if on the other hand, if someone is being abused, and this is a problem I have with girls especially because of how incredibly sensitive that they've become, and it's not just girls I'm throwing books at. I mean, guys can be the same way too, don't get me wrong. There are guys who are the same way. But this is a problem mostly with girls, is that they've become too sensitive these days. Where if a guy approaches that girl and a girl refuses to reciprocate, should go up to an authority of a school and try to have them like punished, whether it be expelled or suspended or whatever the case may be. And one of the things that people have to understand is that, look, these people are not here to cause harm. Okay, they want to make friends with you. Okay, if they're being abusive towards you, then okay, fine, you can go ahead and get that person punished. Okay, I don't advocate for abusive behavior. I also don't advocate for scams either. I mean, if someone that you just met, if they try to lure you off a platform and onto an instant messaging app for any reason, then you're dealing with a scammer. Those people you don't want to be friends with. It's it's either you stay on the platform or you don't talk to a person at all. Okay, so when it comes to cancel culture, okay, the problem is that the liberals, they're in favor of social corporatism. Okay, conservatives are not like that. Conservatives, they want social democracy. Okay, they want people to have freedom to do what they want without causing harm, of course. That's how conservatives are. They want democracy to be in place, and I definitely support it. I'd rather keep democracy in place. I don't want corporatism to be in place, because corporatism and it's already bad right now. Social corporatism is already pretty bad. It's caused people to go insane. Why do you think violence is a problem in the United States? It's because they're sick of the culture we're living in. Okay, they're sick of the liberals putting dictatorship in place when it comes to social interaction rules and other things. Okay, that's why violence is a problem. There's people who've taken their own lives because of this, political correctness that we're living in, so on and so forth. Okay? And political correctness, yeah, it's associated with liberals. Conservatives don't support political correctness. They want democracy. Okay? I mean, yeah, with some rules in place, of course, but the rules should be, like, minimal. Okay, so, yeah, all I can say is I'm all about rationality. But the problem is nowadays people don't have rationality. It's like they're like an extremist in a way. Okay, that's how they are, and yeah, that's why society is corrupt. Okay, because people don't have rationality, and when you don't have rationality, you make bad judgments. You end up making the wrong decisions as a result. Okay. So, now look, if you're a leaning liberal or leaning conservative, okay, not that big of a deal. But when you're an extreme on any side, then that's a problem, okay? Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, okay? So how long has it been? Oh, 11 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap this up here. Democrats. Okay. That's one thing that I forgot to talk about. Democrats and the Republicans. When it comes to voting on bills, okay, the question is, who do you think is most likely in favor of a bill? Answers the Democrats. Who would most likely vote against a bill? Answers the Republicans. Okay, the Democrats, they support the bill. Republicans, they are against the bill. And the problem with the United States nowadays is that the bills that the Democrats vote for, they're for the wrong reasons. Okay, they put Americans at a disadvantage. Okay, like the Democrats, they support tax raises. They put new laws in place that can have some pretty serious side effects. Okay, the Republicans, however, they don't support that stuff. They rather keep stuff the same because they believe that the bills could do more harm than good to society. Okay, and when it comes to corruption of America, I mean, the reason why America is corrupt is because we keep on voting for people who've had a long history of doing nothing in office except for collecting lobbyist money and suppressing people's human and civil rights. That's the only reason why, America's in the trouble that they're in now. Okay? And if only we stop voting for people who've had a long history of that stuff, then we would not have problems. Okay? This is why I think, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in some of my other discussion videos. That's why election years are important, because who you vote for can make a difference for your state or your country. Okay? So, yeah. Now, my question is, which side are you on? Are you a liberal or a conservative? Let me know what you think. This is TBrown0065 signing out. I hope that all of you have a good one.